Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Genevieve Designs. In this video, we are going to make some of the inside covers that go on the elastic for the ephemera holder bits that are going to be in here. I don't know if I explained that correctly. Let me show you in the prototype that I made. Here is what I'm talking about. This is like a cover, and then these are the inside bits with all of the pockets and things, okay? So you don't have to have covers if you don't want to. I just think it's nice and neat and tidy, because you could, if you potentially wanted to, you could have two of these sets. Like, it's like kind of like a journal that's not bound together. You can have two of these potentially on one fin using an extra bit of elastic. So I think it just keeps it nice and neat. Not necessary, but it could also give you a place to make things pretty. So I'm gonna show you a couple different ways to make these journal covers, inside journal covers. We have to use the page templates for the A-size album, but I want to show you a way that you can tweak it just a little bit to make it nice and neat. Okay, so I think I'm going to show you two ways, but one that's kind of an alternate of the other, I think. So, oh, also, there is a playlist specifically for this Ephemera Holder album. It'll take you step by step, video by video, and I will link that up here and down below in the description box. And it starts with an introduction to the Basically Amazing foundations, then an introduction to the Basically Amazing scrap journal add-on to this foundations, and it should have a detailed flip through of the scrap journal prototypes that I made, and then it should start with the covers. So if you want to start from the beginning and go with me step by step, that link is there for you and you can follow right along. And I do very detailed videos for you guys as best I can, and if they're long, I try to put timestamps below in the description box, and I also put them in the comments. Like, I pin a comment to the top of the comments, so if you can't find your description box, you can find that comment if you need to jump around. Okay, so we are now at the point to make the covers, but we have to, the covers for the inside part, but we have to use the actual page for this size album. So we made an A-size album, so we're using page 7A out of the foundations, and I think I'm going to grab both of the templates. These are traceable templates. This is my workbook. You do not get this with purchase, but you do get the set of templates that has the guide on them with your purchase. But I make these workbooks. It just makes life a lot easier when you're making a lot of albums. It keeps you straight. It keeps you from getting confused. It keeps everything a little bit more organized. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to go ahead and take these traceable template parts out, and we'll use those in just a second. But I also wanted to show you that I printed onto white cardstock. I printed the page 7A onto some digital printable paper. This one is from Antique Papery, and I believe it's called Sophia's Garden. I will specifically link the paper collections that I use down below. So I printed these two onto 80-pound white cardstock. This is just regular letter size 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I printed it off, and then on the back side I printed, this is some of the papers that you get with the scrap journal add-on. There's 6 different digital papers that you can print. They're all neutral-ish, except for one, it's the label. And I just added that in there at the last minute for fun. So that's not as neutral. It's a little bit more colorful. But anyway, so I picked this one. It has my mom's handwriting. It has the ledger back there. It has a bunch of different scripty writings. And I printed that on the back side. So what I ended up doing, you need 2 of those. I also have a list down below in the description box of the pages that I'm using, but 7A. So you need 2 of them. And for both pieces, well, I'll talk about that in just a second. Well, no, I can talk about it now. Let me talk about it now. Let's see. No, for both pieces, I left one long tab on both pieces and cut the other 3 tabs off. Okay, So this is what I mean, the other 3 tabs. And I left 1 tab on. Also, I wanted to point out too that on some templates you cannot see the whole tab, and that's supposed to be that way. I try to utilize the entire sheet of paper. So if you see something that looks like this, that's because that's a tab, and it's supposed to be that way, okay? Okay, so I did that. So this is one way to make a page, right? So you can do it this way, or you can do the things that, or the other thing that I'm going to show you here in just a second. So, okay, so I left, so these 2, I don't know if we need this one right now. But this is the traceable template for the main base page for the A-size album. So what I wanted to show you was, these are 11 by 17 cardstock. This is 80-pound 11 by 17 cardstock. So this is just white cardstock, right? You can do 2 things. If you don't have a printer that can print on the wide format setting, like if you cannot do wide format, so let's say your printer cannot print on 11 by 17, you can still use this paper. And so the reason I'm pointing this out is a little bit cleaner and easier of a look for these large albums. So what you would want to do is you would just want to fold this 11 by 17 in half, which it ends up being 2 8.5 by 11. You know, it's 8.5 by 11 once you fold it in half. So you fold it in half like this, right? And then you take this template here and you lay it on here and you trace around, right? So what I want, if you want to do it this way, if your printer cannot print, which even if your printer can print, you can do it this way as well, can print onto this size. I want you to mark the bottom like so, and then you can mark the long side here just on the top and bottom, because then what I want you to do is take it to your paper trimmer. This is a Fiskars Precision paper trimmer. I'm going to cut that bottom piece off while it's folded like that. I have a specific Amazon list just for this project. It lists everything that I use to the best that I can in there. If you want to check that out, this paper trimmer is in there. And so, okay, so then what I want you to do is where you've marked how wide the page needs to be, I want you to add 1/4 of an inch to that. So no matter what page, what size album you're making, if you're making this type of ephemera photo journal cover, I want you to add 1/4 of an inch to the width. And what that does is that allows you that little extra bit of length, so when you have a bunch of different pages in here that have pockets and whatnot, they're not going to be sticking out the side of your journal covers. Okay, so that gives you just a little bit of an extra finished edge looking. You know, it just looks more nice and neat. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. But what you can then do is printed, let's just use, I'm just going to grab this one as an example just because I don't have another option right now. You could literally take any of your pattern paper, lay this on here, your mat for this page, and then add that add 1/8 of an inch to the width of it in order to mat this perfectly. The height would be the same, but then you would need to add 1/8 of an inch, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what that would be. Oh no, you do need to add 1/4 of an inch. So again, when you're tracing out the mat, math sometimes is hard for me. The height is the same as your template, but then add 1/4 of an inch on the width so that the mat looks really nice. So that's one way. If you can't print out what I'm getting ready to show you, you can actually use the large white cardstock without having to print on it and still get the same beautiful results. Except you're going to have to mat it versus it already being printed. So let me show you that in just a sec here. So I'm going to move that aside because, you know, this, you know, not everybody has a wide format printer. So this might be the go-to option for everybody, you know, and it's totally fine. But I wanted to show you that you can do that. And let me move this out of the way. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Oh, wait, I'm going to show you this too. Let me show you this. because I may make an additional one to add in. So I'm going to show you this first, and then I'm going to show you how to do it with just the templates and no big wide format cardstock. So this is 11 by 17, once again, just like the white one. And this is what is this? This is also antique papery, and it is a garden trellis. It's a 8.5 by 11 sized image. I just printed it, told it to print on 11 by 17. You lose a little bit of the image, but not much. I just wanted a full cover sheet. And then on the back side, I accidentally printed the 11. This is also part of the set of scrap journal digital papers that are included. You get an 8.5 by 11 PDF, and you also get 11 by 17 PDF. So this is the 11 by 17 size for that, for this particular background design, and it is upside down. So I printed it upside down, but it's going to be the inside of the cover, so I'm not that overly concerned about it. So what I want to do, I think, I want to try to keep some of this color here. Oh, so both of these pieces are from that same garden trellis. I'll have it linked down below. Super pretty, isn't that pretty? And it's just real soft and subtle, but I love it. So let's do this one first. I think with this one, I'm just going to see same thing. I printed it upside down. Sometimes I just don't think, you know. I'm going to fold this in half, or yeah, I'm just going to fold this in half just to make it easy on this one. And I'm not really giving it a really firm flat crease. I'm just kind of leaving it like so. Just kind of leaving it a little loose. Let's just go ahead and do both. I don't think I'm going to lose that much of that color. Maybe I'll just step it back a little bit. Let's see. Well, let me use my little demonstration piece here. Yeah, so I'm just gonna not fold it directly in half because I want more of this green color to show. So now I'm gonna take the template. So I'm only gonna be cutting off just a little bit. And you can decide exactly where you want your covers to be on this paper. So I'm going to lay this on here. Whoops. I'll try to lay it on here. So we mark the top and the bottom because I guess mine will print borderless, but I don't know if mine will or not actually. I said that, I'm not really sure if it will. So I'm going to mark the top and the bottom and the side, but I'm not going to mark the whole side because we're going to add 1/4 of an inch onto that, and then the same here. I like the top of this image. So I'm going to mark the bottom, the top, and just a little bit on the edge there. Get my paper trimmer back out. First thing, I'm going to take the top and the bottom off. Like that, and then I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to line up where the marks are, and then I'm going to add 1/4 of an inch and trim off. Right, so now we have this. There's one. Let's do the same with this one. Go to the top and the bottom. Where the pencil mark is. This one's just the edge that it's like a border edge. Then I'm going to line up the marks, add 1/4 of an inch. So whatever size you're making, you just add 1/4 of an inch. And you can always, if you need to, you can always remake. If it's not enough, that 1/4 of an inch is not enough, you can always make a cover that's even wider. if you need to. So I'm gonna circle a circle. I'm gonna erase these. Okay, so now we have 2 covers, like so. And before I forget, I'm gonna take my hole punch. Still got glue from the binding piece we did the other day. And I'm gonna notch this corner out, just this itty bitty corner. You can open it up if you feel like it and do a half circle like this. It's totally up to you. And let's do it that way. Or you can do a whole circle, whatever you want to do. But you just want to punch right on that seam there, right on that score mark. And this way that the elastic can fit right inside of those little notches that you just made. So let me do this one really quick. I think it might be easier to open it up. So whatever you want to do, it's personal preference. And you could, if you wanted to, you could put tie back in here, but I really do not see the need for that. I didn't do that in my prototype for this type of album, ephemera album, so I just really didn't see a need. So then what you would do is you would take these, and I'm going to ink them first, but you would take these and you would slide them under the elastic, and there you would have your cover. So there, and the reason I'm saying you don't need to put the tie back here is because there's going to be lots and lots and lots and lots of pages inside of here in between this elastic and this cover piece. So it's just really for looks. The cover pages are just really for looks. So let me show you how to do the one with just the templates alone. Right, so now we got 2 journal covers in here. All right, so back to the 2 pages that, I made myself a note. So I did another piece, thinking I might need a 3rd one. And I might still use this, so I just made myself a note to make sure that I added 1/4 of an inch on this side. So there's an extra one. It's the same paper, it's the Garden Trellis, I keep having to look, Garden Trellis by Antique Papery. Almost positive. If not, I will correct myself in the editing process. So you won't even know I'm saying this. Okay, so this one again is from, what's this one from? Sophia's Garden. And again, I just left 1 long tab on each one. So I think how I want to do this is I'm going to take my scoreboard. And the one that is going to be my front cover, which is this one, I'm going to, what is this called? I'm going to score that one line like that and burnish it. Fold it and burnish it. I'm going to go both ways, actually. And I probably should have left this tab on over here. I did leave a little bit. It didn't look like I trimmed it up very well. And then I'm going to put some tape on here, except I'm going to come closer to this raw edge on this side here. So I think, do I want to use 3/8 or do I want to use 1/4? If I use 3/8, maybe I can use that as a guide. I'm going to put 3/8 of an inch tape on here. Just like that. I am going to notch these a little bit. Right, and then I'm going to take, this one is going to be the back cover, so it's going to go right here like this, except I think I'm going to pull it away. I'm just going to match it up with the tape. So that's about a 1/16 of an inch, maybe an 1/8 of an inch, maybe something like that right there. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give myself a little bit more leeway to make the covers a little bit longer. So I'm going to flip this around so I can see better. And I'm going to match it up. So I may have to go back and rescore this, which is fine. Yeah. So can you see what I'm talking about there? See how I left like this space right there? I'm gonna flip this over and burnish. Oh wow, I didn't trim the tops and the bottoms very good. I got the top lined up perfectly though. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the scoreboard back out and I am gonna rescore just on the other side of where I just attached that. So it's gonna kind of give us like a bigger area, and it's going to make it a little wider. Not a 1/4 inch wider, but it's definitely going to make it wider. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit more challenging to score or to prep. So I'm just going to go, I've got my finger underneath it so that I can pinch it to get this going. So let's see if I can get this. Right, it just gives me a little more room. So then I'm going to take my paper trimmer and cut off this side, what's left of the back cover here, even with the front cover. And you can see, look how much of a difference that makes. But I'm going to take my ink and I'm going to ink it up, and hopefully it just won't be that noticeable. Because if you want it to look nice and neat, you need that extra little bit, I think, on your covers. Okay, so before I go any further, I'm going to cut the notch just like we did before, right in the middle there. It does not have to be perfect, just needs to be a circle, half circle, right in that area. And then that's it. We can ink up everything. I'm going to ink up all 3 pieces, and maybe even this 4th one, just in case we need it. So let me punch this one as well. So I'm going to ink the edges up with the Walnut Stain Distress Oxide. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I have everything inked up, front and back. This is the one we made with the printing on the printing the actual page template, and then this is the one we made. These are the 3 we made. 2. We actually made 2. We didn't make that one. By tracing it out onto the large cardstock, right? Everything is inked inside and out, like that. So for now, I'm not going to put a label or anything on anything just yet, because I'm not really sure yet. I'm not really sure yet exactly how everything's going to come out. I'm not really sure yet. So I'm just not going to put labels on just quite yet. But I'm going to put these in here. I don't know. I like them all. I mean, I'll probably end up using all of them. So we might end up making another one at some point. So I'm just going to leave them all with the journal. And if we need to add another, let me show you. Let me find one that I've done that. This isn't an ephemera folder, but this is an album. This is the prototype album that I made. And here's one of the fins. So this is one fin. This is a 3-fin, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3-fin binding. And this is on 1 fin, 1 elastic, and I have 2 journals attached to that. And the way you do that is by, well, let me use this side here. The way you do that, this elastic here is just a loop, and it goes around the middle of this one, and it goes around the middle of this one, and then you slide that section underneath the elastic that's on the binding. So that is an example of how you can add, like we may be able to add 2 more journals. Like we might be able to separate things out a little bit more. Maybe that's a better way for me to say it. This is in the playlist. If you want to see the flip through of how I made, or the detailed flip through of this prototype, this is using the scrap journal, and this is also using the Graceful Edge. But this is like a scrapbooky, this is like a hybrid version of the scrap journal. So we will keep these close at hand because we might end up really separating things out and not have everything, each one of them so thick. You know, the insides of each one of them being so thick. Well, another thing you can do, if you don't like the whiteness of this cording, you can also give that a little bit of an inking, and it disappears a little bit more. Like that. But yeah. Okay, so in the next video, we'll start making the pages that go inside. So between now and the next video, you just need to maybe start thinking about what are some of the things that you want to house in your ephemera holder, ephemera holder album. Again, I'm pre-recording, so I'm not sure if you guys have helped me pick a name yet, but if you have, it'll be in the title of the video. So, but yeah, I'm going to be using this one. I'm going to take the things that are in here, like the labels and things like that. I'm going to add those into this. I know that for sure. I may add a section where I have leftover photo mats, like in here. There's leftover printed photo mats that I just haven't used. They're in here. So I may have a whole section for that. And then I might have a section for the whole reinforcements. And you can also, since we made the largest album, you can do smaller page sizes inside. Because see, this one is a B-size album. And I have B-size pages in here, right? This one is a A-size album, just like the one we're making right now. Let me get this out of the way. But this is a B-size set of pages, journal cover and everything. This is the B-size, but this is an A-size album. So you could, if you wanted to, take some of the B-size pages and put them inside of the A-size cover, like in the middle or something if you wanted to. It's just, the sky's the limit. There is no limit on what you can put in these. So you just kind of need to decide. So I know I'm definitely going to do the labels. And then these are just like the leftover sheets. This is some sticker paper. We'll talk about that in the next video. I love tags and things, so I might do a section for all of the bits that come in the scrap journal. I might do a section just for that. Envelopes that have been printed and ready to go. Just bits and pieces of ephemera. I have some Tim Holtz stuff. What else do I have? I have some printable ephemera from other designers. So, just think about what you want to put in your album and your ephemera holder, or, you know, however many ephemera holders you want to make. Just think about what you're going to want to put in them. So, yeah. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you're liking it. Let me know some other ideas of what you want to put in your ephemera album folder. And let me know of a clever name that we can maybe come up with. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and turn that notification bell on so you're notified every time I upload a video. And be sure to share my videos with other people. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.